We are now just 135 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is really going to be, well, a revelation movie. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns that will lead to saga-wide implications that will change how we view and perceive the past 8 Star Wars films, which, like I've always expressed, could either be a good or a bad thing for the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting, as well as for one of the set leaks for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that it's described that one of the sequences that were filmed over in Cardington during the month of January involved a scene that involved a very large set that took around 3 months to construct, which Mark Hamill acted on with Adam Driver, and other extras dressed as Jedi. It's said to be in the form of a flashback where Luke is making a speech to his own Jedi students in front of a large Jedi temple and introducing them to the new home and training center of a new Jedi Order. It's said that this sequence would involve the ability of de-aging Mark Hamill for the shot to make him even younger than how he was in the Last Jedi flashback scenes, where they shot the scene in 2 ways, where they digitally removed Hamill's beard and another where they kept the beard on. Either of which is said to end up in the final cut of the film for the second act in the movie that would show Luke as a true Jedi Master. It's said that in the sequence, Luke delivers a reference to his other masters and says his father, Yoda, and even Master Kenobi. The scene is very inspiring for the characters and for the audience of how JJ and George wanted to utilize Luke in the scene in the form of a flashback. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that Episode 9 is really going to show us a different side of Luke that fans have never been able to see on the big screen before in Star Wars film history. Now, yeah, sure, in The Last Jedi we got little glimpses here and there of Luke's life well before the events of The Force Awakens, such as, him at the Jedi training temple with Ben Solo and him turning to the dark side. That was pretty much, the only side of Luke that we got to see before everything really went bad for him. And the fact that we're going to see a more peaceful time related to Luke Skywalker, I think is great, and I think is a very good decision by Disney, Lucasfilm, George Lucas, and even JJ. We do know that this film really is going to answer a lot of questions about the past, as well as revealing certain elements of other characters' past, such as Luke, Rey and Kylo Ren, Palpatine, you name it. So this movie really does have the potential to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy without a doubt, and which I really do believe it will be. I really do believe that. I think that JJ's got a perfect shot here at marking this movie as being better than both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi combined. That's just my gut feeling, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how it's all going to be executed on the big screen when it comes to editing, acting, etc. So the one other thing that I want to go over is how Mark Hamill was actually said to act on set with Adam Driver for this massive set piece that took 3 months to make, where a lot of extras were playing Jedi students in Jedi robes. So, like I've always said before, I think that's one of the missing pieces of the sequel trilogy, is that, well, we never got to see Luke Skywalker's Jedi themselves. We never did. Yes, we saw some bodies on the ground and that was about it. But other than that, alright, we do know that Episode 9 is really going to reveal other parts of Luke's life that we have never seen before in Star Wars film history. And I think that's one of the great things that Disney and Lucasfilm are now adding in. And the fact that we're going to see Luke's Jedi and see exactly where they were placed in the actual story is going to be very interesting. Now, the one thing I want to bring up that's very confusing is that we do know that the Knights of Ren existed before Kylo Ren. This was confirmed by Vanity Fair a couple of months ago, you guys may recall. And it was the Knights of Ren who converted Kylo Ren to the dark side. And Snoke was basically just, pretty much, the one that really pushed him down to the darkness permanently. Now, what's really intriguing, though, is that Luke mentions in The Last Jedi that he took a handful of his students. Whatever happened to those handful of students, right? I think that's one of the other big questions that were not answered in The Last Jedi that will hopefully be answered in Episode 9. I think that, yes, there may be a possibility that he transferred them or transitioned them into other Knights of Ren that we have not seen as of yet, and there may be more than 6 of them. But other than that, I think that question has got to be answered, and if it's not in this film, they may just answer it in a book or the official novelization, which honestly, if they do that, I think that'll be a little bit upsetting and a little bit of a downer, because a lot of people want to know, especially casual fans, even what happened to Luke Skywalker's, other students, his handful of students, which could range anywhere from 3 to 6, maybe even 5, whatever. We do know that Luke Skywalker had, I think, at least a dozen Jedi students that he was training, including Ben Solo. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.